Do you think Mrs. Parker Bowles was a factor in the breakdown of your marriage?
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
Just moments ago, Buckingham Palace shattered decades of royal protocol with an unprecedented announcement that has left royal watchers worldwide holding their breath. In a stunning break from tradition, senior royals have lifted the veil on closely guarded secrets that threaten to reshape our understanding of Princess Diana's story. As buried letters emerge and long silent voices finally speak, this revelation has reopened wounds that the monarchy hoped time had healed, from secret meetings in palace corridors to explosive new evidence about that fateful night in Paris. A truth more dramatic than any royal fiction is about to unfold. Join us as we unravel this extraordinary tale that begins with a shy teenager named Diana Spencer and ends with a legacy that continues to shake the foundations of the British monarchy. The making of a princess. Born into the aristocratic Spencer family on July 1st, 1961, Diana Frances Spencer's bloodline carried centuries of British nobility, intertwined with the royal family itself. Althorp House, the magnificent family estate in Northamptonshire, stood as a testament to the Spencer legacy, its halls echoing with stories of earls, courtiers, and confidants to monarchs. Diana's father, the 8th Earl Spencer, maintained the family's close ties to the royal household, serving as an equerry to both King George VI and Queen Elizabeth II, unknowingly paving the way for his daughter's future role in British history. The dissolution of her parents' marriage in 1969 cast long shadows over Diana's childhood, fragmenting her world into a complex tapestry of weekend visits and school holidays. The young Diana found solace in caring for others, a trait that would later define her public persona. At Westheath Girls' School, while her academic performance proved unremarkable, her natural empathy and innate ability to connect with people already marked her as extraordinary. These early years shaped a young woman who understood both privilege and pain, creating a unique perspective that would later resonate with millions. The autumn of 1977 brought an encounter that would alter the course of British history when 16-year-old Diana first met Prince Charles during a grouse hunt at Althorp. The prince, then attending a shoot with Diana's elder sister Sarah, hardly noticed the shy teenager who would later capture his heart. Sarah Spencer's brief romance with Charles introduced Diana to the royal circle, though none could have predicted the significance of these early connections. In these initial meetings, Diana's quiet grace and genuine warmth began to draw notice from the royal household, even as she remained in the background. Their paths crossed again in 1980 at a country house gathering, where a more mature Diana, now 19, caught Charles's attention in earnest. The timing proved perfect. The prince, under pressure to find a suitable bride, discovered in Diana someone who combined aristocratic heritage with youthful vitality. Their courtship unfolded against the backdrop of weekend visits to Balmoral Castle and private dinners in London, carefully orchestrated by well-meaning friends and palace insiders. Diana's natural ability to listen and show interest in Charles's passions, particularly his love for organic farming and architecture, created an illusion of perfect compatibility. The press quickly caught wind of the budding romance, transforming Diana's life overnight. Photographers camped outside her London flat, documenting her journey from kindergarten teacher to potential princess. The media dubbed her Shy Di, captivated by her demure glances and quiet dignity. Yet beneath this public narrative, more complex dynamics were at play. Diana's youth and inexperience with royal protocols created both charm and vulnerability, while Charles's circle, particularly his close friend Camilla Parker Bowles, watched the relationship unfold with keen interest. As the relationship intensified, cracks in the fairy tale began to appear, though carefully hidden from public view. Diana's growing awareness of Charles's continued closeness to Camilla sparked early doubts, manifesting in quiet moments of uncertainty that she confided only to her closest friends. The age gap of 12 years became more apparent in their different perspectives and interests, while the intense media scrutiny added unprecedented pressure to their courtship. Despite these warning signs, the momentum of royal expectations and public excitement created an unstoppable force toward engagement. The announcement of their engagement in February 1981 unleashed a tidal wave of global fascination. Diana's famous sapphire ring caught the world's attention, but it was her increasingly apparent vulnerability that captured hearts. During their engagement interview, Charles's now infamous response about being in love, whatever that means, sent subtle ripples of discomfort through the watching world. Diana later confessed to her biographer that she'd found the comment traumatic, though at the time she maintained the required smile for the cameras. In the months leading to the wedding, Diana faced an increasingly complex reality. Her transition from Lady Diana to future Princess of Wales involved intense preparation. Everything from royal protocols to public speaking was scrutinized and critiqued. More challenging were the emotional undercurrents. Her discovery of a bracelet Charles had commissioned for Camilla marked a painful realization about the true nature of their relationship. Yet, caught in the machinery of royal expectations and her own romantic hopes, Diana pushed forward, believing love could conquer all. The stage was set for what the world would call the wedding of the century, though few could see the profound challenges that lay ahead. As the fairy tale facade began to crack, what emerged behind St. Paul's Cathedral's majestic doors would reshape not just Diana's life, but the monarchy itself. A royal marriage unravels. On July 29, 1981, St. Paul's Cathedral transformed into a theater of dreams as 750 million viewers worldwide watched Lady Diana Spencer become the Princess of Wales. Her ivory silk taffeta gown, with its 25-foot train and 10,000 pearls, seemed to capture the grandeur of the moment. Yet even as the Archbishop of Canterbury spoke of sacred vows, Diana's heart harbored the crushing knowledge that Camilla Parker Bowles sat among the 3,500 guests, wearing a gray dress that Diana would later describe as her wedding present to the couple. Behind the magnificent spectacle, the morning had begun with Diana's quiet tears as she prepared in her suite at Clarence House. Her young bridesmaids tried to comfort her as she struggled with overwhelming doubts, having discovered a bracelet Charles had given Camilla just days before. The now famous footage of Diana walking down the aisle masks a deeper truth. She was scanning the congregation, searching for Camilla's face among the sea of witnesses to her supposed fairy tale beginning. The wedding reception at Buckingham Palace epitomized royal grandeur, yet beneath the champagne toasts and carefully choreographed celebrations, tensions simmered. Diana, just 20 years old, found herself overwhelmed by the weight of expectation and protocol. Charles's attention seemed distant, his thoughts elsewhere, while Diana struggled to maintain the radiant smile the world expected of their new princess. The day that should have marked their greatest joy instead foreshadowed the struggles to come. The honeymoon aboard the royal yacht Britannia quickly revealed the fundamental disconnects in their relationship. While Diana yearned for intimacy and connection, Charles retreated into his books and painting, spending hours at his easel while his young bride battled seasickness and loneliness. Their age gap of 12 years became a chasm of misunderstanding, with Charles finding Diana's emotional needs overwhelming and Diana interpreting his reserve as rejection. The birth of Prince William in 1982 brought momentary joy, but also heightened Diana's isolation within palace walls. Despite the public's adoration, she found herself struggling with postpartum depression, made worse by Charles's emotional distance and continued connection to Camilla. The palace's traditional approach to royal motherhood clashed with Diana's hands-on parenting style, creating further tension between the couple and the establishment. Prince Harry's arrival in 1984 completed their family picture, but by then the marriage had developed deep fissures. Diana's growing popularity only seemed to irritate Charles, who felt overshadowed by his wife's natural charisma. Meanwhile, Diana's bulimia intensified as she grappled with her husband's emotional absence and the suffocating constraints of royal protocol. The palace staff, loyal to Charles, often left her feeling like an outsider in her own home. Charles's relationship with Camilla, far from fading with marriage, had grown stronger in the shadows. Diana later revealed she'd discovered intimate phone calls and secret meetings, confirming her worst fears about their connection. The young princess found herself trapped in an impossible triangle, watching her husband seek emotional solace in another woman while maintaining a public facade of marital harmony. By the late 1980s, the strain of their failing marriage began to show in public appearances. Sharp-eyed observers noted the increasing physical distance between the couple, their stilted interactions at formal events betraying the cold reality of their private lives. Diana's growing confidence in her public role contrasted sharply with her private desperation, as she sought ways to make her voice heard within the confining walls of royal tradition. The winter of 1991 marked a devastating low point when Diana, overwhelmed by despair and feeling trapped in a loveless marriage, attempted suicide at Sandringham. The incident, though carefully concealed from the public, represented the culmination of years of emotional trauma. Charles's reaction, or lack thereof, to her cry for help only confirmed Diana's belief that their marriage had become unsalvageable. The formal announcement of their separation in December 1992 came as little surprise to those closest to the couple, though it sent shockwaves through the monarchy. Prime Minister John Major's somber delivery to the House of Commons marked the official end of the fairy tale. While behind palace doors, negotiations began for what would become one of the most significant divorces in royal history. From the ashes of her crumbling marriage, Diana emerged transformed, channeling her pain into a powerful force for global change that would redefine modern royalty. Finding her voice. In April 1987, Diana shattered societal prejudices with a simple yet revolutionary gesture, shaking hands with an AIDS patient without wearing gloves. The moment, captured by stunned photographers at London's Middlesex Hospital, marked the beginning of her most significant transformation. Against palace advice and prevailing stigmas, Diana demonstrated that compassion knew no boundaries, later explaining, "HIV does not make people dangerous to know. You can shake their hands and give them a hug. Heaven knows they need it." Her actions instantly changed public perception of the disease and those affected by it. Through regular visits to AIDS wards and hospices, Diana built genuine connections with patients that transcended royal protocol. She would sit on patients' beds, hold their hands, and listen to their stories, actions that earned her criticism from traditionalists, but admiration from the public. Her work with the National AIDS Trust evolved from occasional visits to passionate advocacy, as she used her platform to challenge discrimination. "We need to create more care, more love, more understanding," she insisted, turning her personal pain into a mission of mercy. By 1995, Diana's humanitarian work had expanded to include support for leprosy patients, the homeless, and children with serious illnesses. Each cause reflected her growing understanding of her unique power to affect change. Her visits to leprosy hospitals in Indonesia, Nigeria, and India helped destigmatize another misunderstood disease. "It has always been my concern to touch people with leprosy, trying to show in a simple action that they are not reviled, nor are we repulsed," she explained, demonstrating the same fearless compassion that had characterized her AIDS work. Diana's relationship with the press evolved into a complex dance of mutual dependency and occasional warfare. The paparazzi's relentless pursuit of her every move created a suffocating pressure, yet she learned to harness their attention for causes she championed. Photographers who had once captured her tears through car windows now found themselves documenting her visiting landmine victims or embracing sick children as she strategically redirected their lenses toward issues that mattered. The princess developed an unprecedented understanding of media power, carefully choosing her moments of visibility for maximum impact. Her infamous 1995 Panorama interview with Martin Bashir demonstrated this mastery-breaking royal protocol to tell her story directly to 23 million viewers. "There were 3 of us in this marriage," she declared, using the media platform to reclaim her narrative, while simultaneously exposing the monarchy's rigid traditions to public scrutiny. Asterisk, personal renaissance asterisk. In the wake of her separation, Diana underwent a striking metamorphosis that captured global attention. Her fashion choices evolved from the shy debutante's ruffles to sophisticated, confident statements that graced magazine covers worldwide. The revenge dress, a striking black Christina Stambolian creation, worn the night Charles confessed his infidelity on national television, became an iconic symbol of her newfound boldness. Through carefully chosen designers like Catherine Walker and Versace, Diana crafted a public image that spoke of independence and feminine power, transforming her personal style into a language of liberation. As she emerged from the constraints of royal protocol, Diana's romantic life became a source of both public fascination and personal growth. Her relationship with heart surgeon Hasnat Khan, though intensely private, revealed her yearning for normalcy and genuine connection. Unlike her marriage to Charles, these new relationships allowed Diana to explore her identity beyond royal titles. She would often speak of wanting to be loved for herself rather than her status, even as the media scrutinized her every move. The princess navigated these waters with increasing confidence, though the press attention ultimately strained her chances at finding lasting love. The 1996 divorce marked Diana's final step toward complete independence, though it came at the cost of her Royal Highness title. Freed from palace constraints, she threw herself into charitable work with renewed vigor, choosing causes and appearances on her own terms. Her London apartment in Kensington Palace became a hub of personal and philanthropic activity, while holidays with William and Harry showed a mother determined to give her sons both normalcy and adventure. This period saw Diana at her most authentic, no longer a princess trapped in a fairy tale, but a woman who had found her own voice and purpose. As the summer of 1997 unfolded, Diana stepped into what would become her final season of life, unaware that her quest for happiness would soon collide with destiny in the most tragic way. The final summer, July 1997, brought an unexpected turn in Diana's life when she accepted Mohammed Al Fayed's invitation to vacation with her sons at his villa in Saint-Tropez. There, amidst the Mediterranean sunshine, she found herself drawn to Dodi Fayed, Mohammed's charming son. The connection sparked quickly, offering Diana a taste of the carefree romance she'd long desired. Those who witnessed their early interactions noted her genuine laughter, a sound that had become increasingly rare in recent years. Despite the paparazzi's constant presence, Diana seemed to radiate a new kind of happiness, one unburdened by royal expectations. Their romance blossomed against the backdrop of crystal-clear waters and luxury yachts, creating a tableau of apparent contentment that captivated the global media. The couple traveled between Dodi's family properties, from the French Riviera to Sardinia, their every move documented by photographers who'd paid small fortunes for their locations. Diana's close friends noted her renewed spirit, though some privately expressed concern about the relationship's intensity. In letters to confidants, she wrote of feeling cherished for the first time in years, even as she navigated the complex dynamics of introducing a new relationship to her life as the world's most photographed woman. Her final public appearance on August 20th, visiting the graves of Orthodox Christian monks in Greece, carried no hint of the tragedy to come. Wearing a turquoise dress that highlighted her summer tan, Diana appeared relaxed and fulfilled. The following days saw her joining Dodi in Paris, shopping at upscale boutiques and dining at exclusive restaurants. Their plans included a stopover before returning to London, where Diana was eager to reunite with her sons before their return to school. The princess spoke excitedly of upcoming humanitarian projects, suggesting a woman looking confidently toward her future, the Paris tragedy. The events of August 30th began ordinarily enough, with Diana and Dodi enjoying a late dinner at the Ritz Hotel's Imperial Suite. Their plan to dine at the prestigious Chez Benoit had been abandoned due to persistent paparazzi, forcing them to retreat to the hotel owned by Dodi's father. Security camera footage shows them in animated conversation, Diana's characteristic warmth evident even in these final hours. As midnight approached, they formulated what seemed a clever plan to evade the photographers. A decoy vehicle would leave from the front while they slipped out the back entrance. At 12:20 a.m., August 31st, Diana and Dodi entered the Mercedes S280 with driver Henry Paul and bodyguard Trevor Rees-Jones. Paul, later found to have alcohol levels 3 times the legal limit, sped away from the hotel, attempting to outmaneuver the pursuing photographers on motorcycles. The high-speed chase through Paris streets created a deadly ballet of vehicles, with speeds reportedly reaching 70 miles per hour in busy urban areas. Witnesses described the desperate attempts of the Mercedes to escape the relentless pursuit as camera flashes punctuated the darkness. The final moments in the Pont de l'Alma tunnel unfolded with devastating swiftness. At approximately 12:23 a.m., Paul lost control of the vehicle, which spun and collided violently with the 13th pillar of the tunnel. The impact was catastrophic, instantly killing both Paul and Dodi. Diana, critically injured but initially conscious, lay trapped in the wreckage as emergency services rushed to the scene. Despite frantic efforts by first responders and medical teams at La Petite-Salpêtrière Hospital, the Princess of Wales was pronounced dead at 4:53 a.m., ending a night that would forever change the monarchy. World in mourning. The news of Diana's death broke like a thunderclap across the globe, leaving millions in stunned disbelief. BBC broadcaster Martin Lewis's somber announcement at 5:28 a.m. triggered an unprecedented outpouring of public grief. Within hours, crowds began gathering outside Kensington Palace, transforming its gates into a sea of flowers, cards, and personal tributes. The initial shock quickly evolved into collective mourning as people struggled to process the loss of their people's princess, a term Prime Minister Tony Blair would memorably use in his emotional address to the nation. The following week witnessed scenes unprecedented in British history as the nation's traditionally stoic reserve crumbled in the face of overwhelming sorrow. The silence in London was broken only by the rustle of bouquets being laid and quiet sobs of mourners. The royal family's initial reluctance to return from Balmoral Castle created tension, with a public demanding visible grief, leading to what many consider the monarchy's most serious modern crisis. The Queen's eventual public address, delivered live from Buckingham Palace, marked a radical departure from protocol and acknowledged the depth of public feeling. Diana's funeral on September 6th became one of the most watched events in television history, with an estimated 2.5 billion viewers worldwide. The sight of young princes William and Harry walking behind their mother's coffin, alongside their father, uncle, and grandfather, created an indelible image of personal grief amid public spectacle. Earl Spencer's fierce eulogy, promising to protect William and Harry from suffering their mother's fate, resonated through Westminster Abbey and across airwaves, serving both as tribute and indictment. The ceremony marked not just the end of Diana's life, but a fundamental shift in how the monarchy would need to relate to its people in the years to come. As the world tried to make sense of Diana's tragic departure, new revelations and lasting changes would emerge, forever altering the face of Britain's monarchy. Legacy and revelations. Paul Burrell, Diana's self-proclaimed rock and confidant, emerged as a controversial figure in the years following her death. Having served the princess for over a decade, Burrell possessed intimate knowledge of her private struggles and secret thoughts. His position as keeper of Diana's personal effects and confidential papers made him both a valuable witness to history and a target for intense scrutiny. In 2003, his book, A Royal Duty, sent shockwaves through the palace, revealing private conversations and previously unknown details about Diana's life. The controversy peaked when Burrell faced theft charges in 2002, accused of stealing over 300 items from Diana's estate. The dramatic trial collapsed after Queen Elizabeth's unprecedented intervention, recalling a conversation where Diana had mentioned giving items to Burrell for safekeeping. This revelation raised questions about palace dynamics and the complex relationships between royals and their servants, while also highlighting the ongoing battle over Diana's legacy and personal belongings. Diana's influence profoundly reshaped the monarchy's approach to public engagement and emotional openness. William and Harry have notably adopted their mother's tactile, compassionate style in their royal duties, breaking with centuries of traditional reserve. The prince's commitment to mental health advocacy and their willingness to discuss personal struggles directly reflects Diana's belief in the power of vulnerability and authentic connection. The modern royal family now embraces many of Diana's once controversial approaches, from hands-on parenting to active charitable engagement. William and Catherine's parenting style, particularly their emphasis on normalcy and emotional intelligence, bears clear hallmarks of Diana's influence. Harry's decision to step back from royal duties, while controversial, demonstrates his mother's independent spirit and determination to protect his family's well-being. Despite multiple investigations, including a lengthy British inquest that concluded in 2008, questions persist about the circumstances of Diana's death. The official verdict of unlawful killing due to Henry Paul's reckless driving and paparazzi pursuit hasn't quelled alternative theories. Mohammed Al-Fayed's persistent claims of establishment conspiracy, though largely discredited, reflect the deep emotional impact of the tragedy and the public's reluctance to accept its seemingly senseless nature. The Diana story continues to evolve through new revelations and reinterpretations. Modern investigations into the BBC Panorama interview, which exposed Martin Bashir's deceptive tactics in securing Diana's participation, demonstrate how even well-established narratives can shift. Each new detail adds layers to our understanding of a woman who, even in death, continues to influence conversations about power, privilege, and the human cost of public life. Outro Princess Diana's legacy continues to illuminate hearts and challenge institutions, her story a testament to the transformative power of authenticity and compassion. From the shy Spencer girl to the people's princess, she redefined what it means to be truly royal. Share your most touching Diana moment below and join our community of history enthusiasts as we explore more untold royal stories.